uphold this because, like, if I do things, so like if I say to God, I want to, you know, let's say I want to be the people's champion, but I want to be the people's champion for a large salary. Like, I'm not really doing it for me or for because I want to do it. I'm doing it for the external validation that I'm going to get. And that's an important thing, is that in life, the power comes from when we do what is intrinsically and authentically us. So for me personally, what is authentically me is to be someone who gives without thought of return. Like, I don't want to have to think about what am I getting back every time I go and do something for someone. But I also don't want them to have an expectation because they're giving me something that they have control or that they have right, you know? And that's the thing. Like, I don't ever want to be in a position where someone thinks that they have right or ownership over me in terms of being able to dictate who I am. I lived my entire life trying to fit into that mold, and I hated it. I hate being someone else for other people. I never want to experience that again. And that's what's so funny, is that, like, all of these negative things that I experience in my conversations with God, in terms of when I'm asking for guidance, and then the next day I'm doubting that guidance because I don't feel right, because I start to feel doubt and fear. Like, I don't want to be that person who makes a decision to walk a path and then second guesses every step. I would rather walk that path to my death than have to second guess my steps. Like, there's no point. Why would I want to be walking and wandering every path trying to figure out which is the right path? It's so stressful and disorientating. I did that for many years in my career, trying to find the right way to achieve what I want to achieve in life, trying to find the fit for me, when I always knew what the fit for me was. And the thing is what I've realized with, life purpose and spiritual purpose and all of that, career purpose, it's a choice. We all have to get to the point in life where we say, this is my direction, regardless of anything else. This is the direction I'm walking, and I'm okay with that. And we just have to let go to everything else and just say, this is my path. Because if we don't, and we're constantly looking at all these other things, we're walking down the path, but we're not experiencing it. We're not experiencing our journey. So in my career, let's say I choose the path of sales. If I'm constantly wondering what marketers are doing, what stockbrokers are doing, what this, what that, what philanthropists are doing, and I'm constantly worried about all of these things, I'm not actually able to experience and enjoy the path that I'm on, this path of sales. So it's very, very important, because the whole purpose of life is the journey. Like, if the purpose of life is a good life and to die, as soon as you hit your peak, what you think your peak of your life is, go kill yourself, because life is only downhill from there. That's the problem with trying to win at life. Once you reach it, what is the point to continue? It's sort of like if you're a professional fighter and you become the heavyweight champion of the world. Well, wouldn't you retire the next day? Because it's only downhill from there. Like, yeah, you might have 3 or 4 years where you defend the title and you hold it, but it's only ever going to be taken from you. Do you sort of see, like, if we put our, like, highest value in life on the destination, where we're trying to get to, and that becomes the be all end all, once we achieve it, life loses all meaning. So the thing is that it's not so much about the destination, but it's more about the journey. We don't hike to see the sights. We hike for enjoyment, and seeing the sights is the bonus. So it's sort of like, if I only ever go out hiking to see, these, views and things like that, or to see these amazing places, once I see it, it's done. I'm done with it. So, sort of, if I'm there and I'm looking to experience these views and experience these places, well, that's going to mean that when I get to the place, I'm going to hang around a little bit longer. Have you ever noticed that when you go to a national park or something? People walk up to the view, take a 10-second look around, turn around and walk back and leave. Because that was the whole point of their trip, was to see that view. And once they saw that view, it's done. So it's sort of like we're negating the journey to see that view, and we're valuing the view over the journey. And the problem with that is the journey, we don't take any notice of anything. We might be on our phone, listening to music, thinking, doing stuff, but we're not focused in on the surroundings, the trees around us, all the beauty. We're not focused on the smells, the sounds, the other people. So when we're missing out on all these layers of experience of life when we only focus on the destination. And that's sort of what God was trying to teach me by making, my path the slowest path in my context, okay, is that, like, he was trying to force me to start looking around and not worry about the destination. Because if we focus in on the journey, then everything becomes sacred. The journey to work, the journey to dinner, the journey, on the weekend to wherever you want to go. When we're going on a road trip, not focusing on, are we there yet? Focusing on all the beauty around. Like, so many times throughout my life, I went on, cross-country road trips and stuff like that, and cross-state and all of that. And my whole point was to get to the destination. So I didn't really pay attention, like, I distracted myself the entire journey. And the funny thing is, like, I have a cache of small images of places I've been, but the journey's not there, because I didn't consciously focus on the journey. I only consciously focused on the view. So I remember the view, but I have no idea about the journey. So it's sort of like this emptiness in life, where time is passing fast because I'm constantly distracting myself from being present and aware. And that's, one of the funny things in life is that it's never the way you think it's going to be. So we think about, like, for example, like career and all of that, and all we vision in our mind is the destination, having that office, having that role, having that position, having the money, having the house, having the car, having the luxury lifestyle. And we're just so focused in on that once we get it, it just doesn't mean anything. Like, I don't know about you, but for me, when I was working in, high ticket sales, it was a highly stressful, role, high pressure, and really good money, and really good status, really good, fucking, employment title or job title. Like, everything sounded good. I had nice things. I lived on the beach. I did this, I did that. But I had no freedom. I had no joy. All I had was stress and worry and anxiety, and I had to force myself through life. So when we're forcing ourselves day in, day out in our career, doing things that don't light us up, don't empower us, don't make us happy, just for the money, what tends to happen is the negative behavioral events where, I felt the need when I had free time to go out and drink, you know, to party. I was constantly, smoking cigarettes, like chain smoking, because I was always so amped up and wired up because I had to get myself into a heightened state and a really like highly anxious state to be able to constantly perform, to be able to think. And nowadays, just the thought of having to do that exhausts me because, like, in my mind, I would rather kill myself than do that, than spend 40 years living a life I hate just so I can have things that I don't want, so that I can feel good about myself, you know? And that's a funny thing because, like, it's not that, money and all of that is bad. That's not the thing. Money is a resource like water and food. Water and food aren't bad. But the problem is when I use money to empower, well, not empower, but to make myself feel better. When I use money as a metric of my success, money becomes toxic because money becomes the standard of who I am. How much money I'm making, how much money I have, the things I have, all become a reflection of how good I am. Whereas in truth, it should be my happiness, my work-life balance, my joy. Am I doing what I want? Am I experiencing life how I want to experience it? Am I seeing the places I want to see? Am I going where I want to go? Am I around the people who light me up and inspire me? Or am I around, people that tear me down and I always have to, have one eye over my back, watching out for the attacks because any sign of weakness and people will attack and diminish me. So, like, that's the problem when we're working in these toxic industries or these toxic companies, or when we're doing things or having to do things that aren't in our internal karma of what we want to do. So, in terms of like karma in money, we all have internal karma as how we want to make our money. So, for example, some people want to make money by selling products and services to other people. But to some other people, selling products and services makes them feel wrong about themselves. It doesn't make them feel right. They don't enjoy that. Some people like to make money through creative pursuits. Some people like to make money by volunteering and helping and service. Like, you know, so there's all these different ways. And the problem is when we listen to other people and we do things or choose directions that we don't want to go down because we think it's going to make us either look better in life or it's going to make other people happy in our life, it's never going to work out, because while it may make other people happy, it won't make us happy. It'll make us miserable and we'll feel like we're not living the life we want to live, like we're a shell of a person, where we can't be ourselves around people for fear of attack, for fear of loss. Like, when I lived my life working in things or companies I didn't want to be in, okay, I felt like if I wasn't this character, like, and if I always wasn't like everyone else, I would not so much be attacked, but I wouldn't fit in. Like, My job wouldn't be secure if I didn't comply and mold myself to what the company wanted. And it's funny because, like, whenever I did that, like, I always became less effective than what I truly could be, because I was always second guessing and doubting myself. When I do what feels right to me, it feels natural and easy. When I have to try and do something someone else wants me to do, I have to try and figure out what they want, how they want it, what is good. So it's sort of this funny thing that if you find yourself like me, when you work for other people, always being in this highly anxious, highly stressed state, and sort of miserable with what you do and not happy and not fulfilled and not excited, it really means like you're not living the life you feel you deserve and dream you deserve. And the thing about that, how can you ever be the person you think you deserve to be, your ideal person, when you settle in life for environments that aren't conducive to your best interest, for careers that you don't, have any alignment to? The thing is for me, I'm absolutely in love and passionate about sales. But for me, it's about ethics well and truly above money. It's about how we do it, not how well we do it. Like, it's about how well we do it. Like, it's all about, are we able to look ourselves in the mirror and hear all of the judgment and the snarky remarks, and to know that they're not true. When people would say that, I'm a sleazy salesman and I manipulate people, I'd say, no, I don't. See, the thing is like, I would rather lose money than sell out my beliefs and values. Because the thing is, I can always make more money. But once I lose my sense of self, it is devastatingly hard to rebuild that. That's why when people have breakdowns and they sort of lose the identity of who they are in search of creating an identity of who they think people want them to be, they become hopeless and directionless. And I've been through this. And the reason for this, for me, was that everything I thought to be right and true, everything I'd learned was wrong to me. Like, the thing is it's sort of like everyone says, let's take for example, like your own business, that you've got to charge what you're worth. That it's got to be profitable, the business. The business doesn't have to be profitable. You don't have to make money. You don't even have to charge what you're worth. Because, like, the thing is business is not 2D, it's 3D. Oh, well, it's probably like 4D nowadays. But basically, you don't have to directly make money off people. You can indirectly make money off people. You can provide goods and services free of charge. Like, however you want to go about it, it doesn't matter. Like, working and career, yeah, there's a degree of it that is about survivability. But once we breach survivability and we've reached it, and we're making enough money to be able to pay bills, get by, have a little bit left over, like, it doesn't really, the money isn't going to do any more for us. Okay, the next step up once we reach survivability is doing what we love. once I have enough to eat and, cover rent and all of that, then it's sort of like, what do I want to do with my life? What do I want to spend my time with? What means something to me in life? What do I get natural enjoyment out of? For me personally, it's spirituality, it's psychology, it's business, it's hiking and travel, it's experiencing new, it's understanding the universe. These are the only things I really care about. Everything else is sort of meaningless. So like, for me, if I'm able to do those things in life, in my career, it doesn't really matter how much I make, because I don't need a big house to make myself feel better. I don't need a flashy car. I don't need a luxurious lifestyle to make myself feel better, because what I do makes me feel on fire. I don't need any of the other shit. And that's the funny thing. When we do and follow our passions, we realize we don't actually need that much to live. You know what I mean? It's always good to live comfortably and in luxury. I always believe in that, in living, well, not living comfortably. I personally believe in living as comfortably as you want, but putting yourself through discomfort every now and then. Like, I will always do that in preparation for discomfort. So like, you know what I mean? So for example, I like to hike 20 to 40K a day. And the reason for this is that if I get lost 200K away from the nearest town, at least I know it's only a couple of days of me walking and I can do it. And I know every day I can walk 40K comfortably. Like, no stress. Like, so I'm conditioning myself that even the most extreme of environments isn't extreme. But I do it in the sense of